this last question. Are the people you're surrounded with building you up or tearing you down? What if you're spending your time with people that are stunning your growth? One of my biggest pet peeves is I really can't stand it when people waste my time. So in this episode, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the cost of people who waste your time. We're going to talk about your social circles and what you can do about that. And we're also going to give you some tips on reclaiming your time. So let's get into it. The cost of time suckers. Time suckers, they waste your emotional capital. So we all wake up every day with a certain amount of capital that we have emotionally. We got to do our day-to-day. We have our responsibilities. We have our goals. We have things that we're very specific about that we need to get done. And yes, there are people that are going to be in your life that are going to absolutely waste your time. Does that mean that you just cut them off? I'm not one to do that unless they're really somebody who is just not a good influence in my circle for various reasons. But I would encourage you to really think long and hard who's in your general vicinity of circle and the people that you interact with on a daily basis. And if you get emotionally drained, you're not aligned on vision, then you need to give that some serious consideration at what it's really costing you. Because you might have a very specific purpose that you want to accomplish, and you could probably grow exponentially if you learn to recognize these very things in people and do something about it. Because studies show in neuroscience, right, in your brain, that consistent interaction with this kind of stimulant, this emotionally draining interaction with people, leads to decision fatigue. And if you have to make so many decisions, which are just going round and round and round because of these interactions with these kind of people, you're just wasting your brain space on something that you could be focusing on to help benefit and move you forward and get something really important done, because you're going on and on and on with someone who is just absolute time drain. And you know what I'll talk about, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about. You know, these people are negative. These people are the ones that are going to always kind of, criticize something and say that they're trying to give you some constructive criticism when they're not. They're just trying to throw shade. They're just trying to say stuff because they feel like what they have to say is important. But what they're really doing is that they're just trying to take your time and just suck it out of you. They want that attention. They want it from you. People deal with this in different ways. I've seen people cut people off, but a more productive way of doing it is, once you're aware of it, once you recognize it, just set up some boundaries. Like I said, you don't have to go as far as to cut somebody out of your life like that, but you can avoid the conversation, and you can definitely limit them so that you're not interacting with those people for a long area of time. Sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid the situation, but there are ways to just be polite and be kind. I'm a big believer in that. Be polite and be kind and just move on, because the cost that you're going to pay long term doesn't cost them anything, because they're getting what they want from you, right? They want that interaction. They want to take that emotion from you. They want to stunt and steal your time because it makes them feel better. That's not your purpose. If you want to accomplish your goals, and I talked about this, about discipline. Discipline is important. So discipline yourself to understand that these people are all about wasting your time or emotionally draining you. So recognize it, move the conversation along, and move on. So look at your social circles. Is it dream team or dead weight? Are these people encouraging you? Are they giving you inspiration to do more? Are they with you, right, on the same level? Did they share your vision? They don't have to agree with everything that you say. I think healthy pushback of people that are aligned is helpful. I think it makes you better. Iron sharpens iron. But if you don't have iron in your life, you're not going to get sharp. You're going to get dull. And one day you're going to wake up and go, what am I doing? Why am I here? This is a key component, especially on any type of journey, but on an entrepreneurial journey. If you're not looking for people, right, to learn from, or to interact with, to get those creative juices flowing in your mind, you need to reevaluate that. And that's something that I do from time to time when I get involved in, business, just relationships in general, organizations, with a purpose. If I'm surrounded, by good people, good things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen because not only are they going to sharpen me, but I'm going to be able to help sharpen them. And that's what you should be looking for. You want to be able to interact on that level so you can push yourself to the next level. So one of the things that, if you want to take a Harvard Business Review study, right, which has a lot of credibility, it says that 85% of entrepreneurs, 85%, the majority, vast majority of entrepreneurs credit their success to the network. So the people that they hang around with and surround themselves, 85% credit their success to this. One of the things that I really enjoy is that I have a great group of men in my church that are godly men that I interact with. We don't interact all the time, but we interact a lot. And that is one thing that I have found that has been inspiring to me as I want to continue to grow, not only in my business, but just even in my spirituality, in being able to talk with those men and talk about the day-to-day things that we do as men, walking through our journeys, whether it's business, family, just day-to-day life, friendships, organizations, it really keeps me grounded. And there are a lot of times that I've gotten sharpened by my brothers. And I'm sure there's a lot of times that I've sharpened them, because when you have people like that that are willing to be open and honest with you and tell you the truth, but they're not trying to suck time out of you. They're just trying to relate to you. And they're trying to really encourage you and call you out on your stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to have a network like that. So I highly encourage you to find a group of people that it doesn't have to just be about business. You could have your business mentorship and inspiration there, but the spiritual one, to me, that's so important. And I'm always thankful. And I thank God to be able to have that in my life, to be able to help sharpen me where I need to be sharpened in being a husband, in being a father, a business owner, friend, whatever it is. That's something that I find huge value in and that I'm super thankful for. So the last thing I want to talk about is reclaiming your time. There's only a limited amount of time in a day. That is the one thing that you can't buy more of. You can't buy more time. People say you can, but in order to be able to do better use of your time, you need to understand a couple of things. There are going to be times where you have to cut ties with people. You're going to have to cut ties with people that just consume your time, right? Surround yourself with people who understand the value of time. On occasion, look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with, right? Sometimes, you might have to make that decision where you realize that somebody is falling out of alignment with you. It's okay. You can go have a talk with that person. Or maybe it's just somebody that you need to set a boundary with. Set some time that you're going to be able to spend, with these particular people, and just know that that's the amount of time that you're going to invest every week. Cap discussions to 20 minutes, unless you're having some kind of progress that's giving you some type of inspiration and you know that you need to continue, but cap it at 20 minutes. I mean, if you're able to do that, you can have more of those conversations in a day than if you're talking to someone for hours and hours and hours. Actually, there's a statistic out there that 68% of professionals say that shorter meetings actually boost productivity. And the last thing I want to say about this is seek vision-aligned people. They don't have to be exactly like for like, but when you have vision and you have other people that have similar vision, those are good people to hang around with. Because again, I'm going to go back to iron sharpens iron. You want to be able to hang out with the people that are going to be able to inspire you and that you can inspire as well. It's a two-way street. So let's just recap. Time suckers right? The biggest cost is your emotional capital. Who you surround yourself is going to be impactful in the things that you do. Be respectful of your time. Be disciplined with your time. It's always going to be a benefit to you, and you'll be more productive and be able to do more things. So I want to leave you with this one last question. Are the people you're surrounded with building you up or tearing you down? I'd love to hear any type of comments that you would have on this subject. Start a conversation. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. I always encourage you to subscribe. If you have a moment, rate the show. You can find us on YouTube at HeyCharles Biz, on Instagram and TikTok at HeyCharles77, HeyCharles on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and Charles Ernst on LinkedIn. See you next time.